All right, so I'm here with Tommy, and we're going to be talking about our philosophy about fitness and our journey dealing with injury and how to prevent injuries, and also what we learned in the process of healing the injuries that we have had in the past. My name is Luis, and this is Tommy. So, Tommy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thanks.
So, what would you say is your philosophy about fitness? Like, I know I've known you for a while already, and you're a very young guy who has been doing calisthenics, right? And then you kind of like suffer from an injury, and then you start doing some jump roping, and then you kind of like train around the injury. What I notice about you is that you are really good at self-learning. So you've improved a lot. Like when it comes to doing planche and pancakes and all these things that require technique. Even jump roping, you have actually been really good at uh, going above the average, right? Like you're really good at getting to a high level of performance and technique when it comes to this. Uh, I'll say when it comes to calisthenics, when it comes to anything you do, when it comes to fitness, you're actually pretty good at getting really good at that thing, right? So, yeah, share with us a little bit about your fitness philosophy.
All right, thanks, man. I'm Tommy, and I have been doing calisthenics for around 3 years, seriously. And I would say my fitness philosophy is to have passion and to really love what you do, because I think if you don't like what you do, then it's gonna be very painful and a toil for you. And in terms of goal, I do have many goals, but I do recommend it people to set a goal for yourself, but not too immediately achievable. For example, you have almost unachievable goals, like in the future, and then you walk towards it, and so your goal is not to achieve and to to mark only a few lists, but to enjoy the process and to keep doing what you do. It's more like a lifestyle. Because if you set for example, like lose how many kg or a very easy goals, then what happened if you reach your goals, right? So for me, it's more of a long term. Like I really enjoy this process. So I have a very big general goal that I want to bring influence and impact to people through fitness. So no matter what I do, as long as I can reach this goal, then I'll be satisfied.
So, what was your current goal?
So my current goal in terms of calisthenics is one arm handstand.
One arm handstand.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know what one arm handstand is, but that's like superhuman level skills, man. Like I think that even a normal handstand is already pretty hard. When it comes to like fitness as well, for me, I think that it's all about health. I think that, yeah, like you said, some people want to lose weight. They start going to the gym because they want to lose 5 kg or 10 kg or whatever the goal is, without realizing that this is a long time process, right? Like it's a lifelong journey. When it comes to fitness, you should know that you should start thinking about the process and how can you enjoy what you're doing, because if you start working out and you do lose the weight, you do lose the 5 kg, you do lose the 10 kg, and you stop working out, then you might gain it back. So it's like a lot of people start doing the yo-yo diet. They start eating very healthy and they no carbs, right? No sweets, but then after 3 months, it's just they can't sustain that pace and they go back to their old routines, and all the progress that they made, they kind of like lose, right? And that's very discouraging for a lot of people, which is why one of the main things that I recommend people when they start their fitness journeys, you always got to think about sustainability, right? And long-term processes. Like, do you enjoy doing what you're doing right now? Because if you don't, as soon as you stop, then you're gonna go back to where you were, right? So yeah, so I know that you suffered from some injuries when you were doing calisthenics, right? Like, what was the injury that you suffered from?
So about a year and a half, I injured my right wrist when I did muscle ups on the bar, and that was like a painful injury. But it wasn't a one thing. It wasn't a one-time like onset injury, but instead it was I think it was a build-up, accumulated injury. Like I built too much stress on my wrist when I did handstand and all the stuff, and that muscle up is just like the final click. So yeah, that's a major injury. It's still not fully recovered now.
Okay, okay. Yeah, like personally, I also suffered from an injury a few weeks ago. I injured my shoulder, and I was not doing calisthenics. It was more overtraining. I did a double shoulder session in one day, and then the next day I was like, oh, my shoulder feels a little bit weird. So I decided to take a rest. But then the next week I started training as hard as I was. So I kept training after I felt a little bit of pain, and I didn't listen to my body. So that's why one thing that I want to recommend people when they're training is that if you feel that there's some pain, especially on the shoulders or on the joints, especially in the shoulders, hips, knees, right? Knees are very important. I think like shoulders and knees are one of the most easier points to get injured. So I recommend people to be aware about when it's painful and don't push, right? Because we tend to have this ego that we think that we're the man, we're Superman, we are indestructible, and it kind of like humbles you down because I mean I know that you've been away from calisthenics for a while, right? Like a few months, and you're young. You know, when you're getting older, you get injured. It takes way more time for you to heal. I mean, I'm still young. I'm 34, but I do feel that I gotta be more aware about being able to, take my feet off the pedal and slow down and let my body heal, because I can be out for 1 month or I can be out for 1 year. It can be that bad, right? So I think that it's always important for us to remind ourselves that the journey is a lifelong journey. So we have a lot of time to get to our goals. Like you have, I don't know how many, 20 more years, 30 more years to get to the one arm handstand. I hope you get to your goal. So yeah, like I will say, like for me, injury prevention is like being aware about your joints and your muscles and your body, right? If it's painful, kind of like slow down, step away. Maybe go to a chiropractor, maybe go to like a doctor so you can check if there's anything going on. Don't just keep pushing, right? Slow down will be my first advice for injury prevention. What about yours?
Okay, thank you for sharing. I think my tips is to know your limits. Of course, it's like deal with your ego. Like we all have ego. Like sometimes we just wanna hit this impossible goal in our workout session. We just wanna test our PR, and we keep trying and trying, and we keep failing and failing, but we never give up. And then that's when we're tired, we still try, and that's when injury happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the second thing I think is to listen to your body. I think even the world class athletes they can't go for 100% every day. So sometimes you get there are gonna be days where you arrive to the gym, you just feel crap. You don't feel like doing anything, but you're still gonna hit your goal or your training schedule. So just do like, if it were me, I will switch to those basic and then maybe decrease the loads and just do whatever my body can feel it. And then my recent philosophy is to save it for tomorrow, right? If I don't think I'm gonna hit anything today, then I'm just gonna finish my job and then I reserve the energy for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. So you say know your limits and listen to your body. That's actually pretty good, two pretty good tips to prevent injuries. One thing that I also recommend my clients and even myself is as you get older. Wait. Shit. So I recommend people to warm up, right? Like to take time to, if you're doing a handstand and you're gonna be training your shoulders and your core, hey, take some time to warm up your shoulders, warm up your core, so when you go into the position, to the pose, everything is lubricated, everything is ready for like maximum effort. Don't just like come to the gym and start doing a handstand from the get go, right? Like people think that it's easy. Like you gotta let your body, hey, we're about to go and do some really difficult things, so you better be ready. So I recommend warming up and also stretching and recovering. I think like stretching and recovering is also very important as you get older. If you feel like you're sore from the day before, don't push it. You just say, hey, you haven't recovered yet. Unless you have a really good night's sleep, a nice recovery, you stretch a lot, you be feeling like really energized. That day, maybe you can go for a new PR. You can go for a new, I don't know, one arm handstand. But if you're feeling tired, you're feeling like shit because you are, I don't know, stressed from work, or you didn't sleep well, or you're still feeling sore from the workout, don't push it. Like let your body rest, let your body recover. So when you are actually going for that PR, for that new goal, you are 100%, right? You gotta listen to your body, like you said, but also know that you're not here to push every day. Because me and you, I think like we are people who like to push, right? some people don't like to push. I think like if you don't like to push, maybe you need to push a little bit more. But in our case, we gotta like slow the fuck down, right? So yeah, so know your limits, listen to your body, warm up, focus on recovery, and yeah, like be aware about your energy levels. I think those 5 things are very important when you are trying to prevent your injuries. All right, man. I think that's enough for today. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Let's do this more often. Take care. See you guys.
See you next time.
Cool, man.